There's something we're supposed to read about China. Okay, what? What? Something on the internet or something?
There's a lot.
Oh, wow. Okay, I wouldn't message you. Well, okay, let's see if we can find something. Um, anyway, today is we're reading today about remembering Charu Dasa Prabhu. That I didn't know hardly myself, but I know he did a whole lot of service for Srila Prabhupada. And also Srila Prabhupada said on the disappearance of the Vaishnavas, we should sing this song. We haven't done it very much in recent times, but let's do it. So, remember these songs. Yayanilo Premadana Karuna Prachur Heino Prabhu Kota Bela Charya Thakur Kaha Mora Swarup Rupam Aha Sanatan So, there's maybe find something on the internet here. Remembering His Grace Caru Dasa. A disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada since 1970, Caru Dasa devoted more than 5 decades to sharing Krishna consciousness. He was one of the movement's great community builders, known for his enthusiasm, creativity, and ability to present Krishna consciousness in ways that touch the hearts of people from every background. Born Chris Warden in Stallston, Pennsylvania, Caru Dasa met the devotees in Australia and was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in May of 1970. In the years that followed, he served in a number of important leadership roles in ISKCON, including as temple president in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, Australia, and later in Berkeley, California. Those who knew him during those years remember his energetic preaching, his determination, and his natural ability to inspire others. In 1983, Caru Dasa and his wife, Vaibhavi Devi Dasi, moved to Spanish Fork, Utah, where they purchased a small AM radio station and several acres of land. From those humble beginnings, the Sri Sri Radha Krishna Temple in Spanish Fork grew into one of the most recognizable and beloved Hare Krishna communities in North America. Today, Caru Dasa and Vaibhavi Devi Dasi created something extraordinary. Together, I should say. Together, Caru Dasa and Vaibhavi Devi Dasi created something extraordinary. The beautiful temple in Spanish Fork, designed by Vaibhavi in a North Indian style, became known not only for its deities and festivals, but also as a place of welcome and hospitality for the wider community. Thousands of visitors each year came to experience Janmashtami, Diwali, Sunday feast programs, and school tours, often receiving their first introduction to Krishna consciousness there. In 2019, Caru Dasa and Vaibhavi opened a second temple in Salt Lake City, extending their service and providing a spiritual home for more devotees, even more devotees and well-wishers in the Beehive state. A video showcasing their service in the state is one of the most watched videos in Utah PBS history, with over 500,000 views. You can watch that here. Charu became best known to the wider public as the founder of Utah's Festival of Colors. What began as a local celebration eventually grew into the largest holy festival outside of India, drawing tens of thousands of people each year to Spanish Fork. Through the throwing of colors, kirtan, prasadam, and joyful chanting, the festival introduced hundreds of thousands of people to the holy names and to the culture of bhakti. The most recent festival was held just a week ago. Under Caru Dasa's guidance, the Festival of Colors expanded far beyond Utah. Similar festivals were later held in Salt Lake City, Ogden, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Riverside, and elsewhere, bringing Krishna consciousness to many who might otherwise never have encountered it. He guided and mentored many ISKCON communities to hold their own local festivals. Charu also founded Krishna Radio, KHON, the only full-time Hare Krishna radio station in the United States. For decades, he used the radio to share devotional music, philosophy, lectures, and discussions based on the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. Even in recent years, he remained innovative and enthusiastic, exploring podcasts, online media, and devotional music across many genres to reach new audiences. He often described himself simply as a community builder, but his service was much more than that. He had a gift for making people feel welcome, for seeing possibilities where others saw obstacles, and for bringing together devotees and newcomers in a spirit of joy. Through his speaking, interfaith outreach, festivals, radio programs, and personal example, he touched countless lives. Charu is survived by his wife, Vaibhavi Devi Dasi, whose partnership with him was central to all that they accomplished together. Side by side, they offered some of the most extraordinary service in our movement, establishing iconic temples, creating beloved festivals, and opening the doors of Krishna consciousness to generations of people. Many devotees will remember Charu Das rapping before a joyful crowd at the Festival of Colors, encouraging everyone to chant the holy names and celebrate together. The year 2026 had already been an especially busy one for Charu. In addition to helping host another successful Festival of Colors in March, he and the devotees welcomed hundreds of school children to the temple for educational tours. He spoke at Snow College, and in February, he initiated 7 new disciples. He most recently gave the weekend talks for the Salt Lake City and Spanish Fork temples following the March Festival of Colors. In a talk on Sunday, 2 days before his departure, entitled "Focus Your Heart," Charu Das said, quote, "When you realize how short our time here is, it should bring upon a sense of urgency. Your assignment has an expiration date. Your time on earth is not unlimited." Even in his final days, he remained fully engaged in the service that had defined his life. Appreciations. statement from Sri Sri Radha Krishna Temple in Spanish form. With profound grief and heavy hearts, we share the extremely devastating news that our beloved spiritual guide and mentor, His Grace Caru Prabhu Ji, has left his body. Prabhuji dedicated his entire life in loving service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. Through his humility, compassion, and deep devotion, he touched and transformed the lives of so many. His words, example, and association will continue to inspire us on the path of Krishna consciousness. At this time, we humbly request all devotees to kindly offer their heartfelt prayers for his continued service at the lotus feet of the Lord and the community to gather for the community to gather strength. Once the last rite details are finalized, we will share them. Let us come together in remembrance and prayer. From the North American Regional Governing Body Executive Committee. It is with great sadness that we acknowledge the sudden departure of His Grace Caru Prabhu, one of our senior leaders in ISKCON North America, who passed away in a car accident a few hours ago. We are still in shock and disbelief. Caru Prabhu was a true maverick. Together with his good wife, Vaibhavi Prabhu, he utilized innovative ways to spread Krishna consciousness to hundreds of thousands of people. In the early 1970s, while serving as temple president in Sydney, Australia, he learned to utilize the newspapers, radio, and television to promote Srila Prabhupada's visit to the country. In 1975, he served on the library party distributing sets of Srila Prabhupada's books at universities across the United States. Seeing the favorable results they achieved at Brigham Young University, Young University later drew him back to Utah. By 1976, he served as temple president in Berkeley, where he again widely utilized media to promote the annual San Francisco Rath Yatra Festival of Chariots, increasing the number of attendees from a couple of thousand to tens of thousands. In 1979, along with Devi Deva Prabhu, Caru Prabhu developed the Festival of India. He refined the exhibits, assisted by Manula Prabhu, and expanded the concept to pioneer the year-round traveling festival program we are familiar with today. In the early 1980s, while serving as life membership director at ISKCON New Dwarka, Los Angeles, he began recording radio shows to spread Krishna consciousness through the airwaves. This soon led him to look for and eventually acquire an AM radio station in Spanish Fork, Utah, where he and Vaibhavi pioneered what today has grown into two beautiful temple projects in the heart of Mormon country. In the mid-2000s, he popularized the Holy Festival of Colors, which soon expanded like a tidal wave to reach audiences in cities across the continent. Caru Prabhu regularly attended our annual ISKCON Leadership Conference in North America, inspiring temple presidents to think outside the box and to attract mainstream audiences to Krishna consciousness. He served as a friend, guide, and mentor to many of us. At this time, our prayers and deepest condolences go out to his good wife, Vaibhavi Prabhu, and his disciples and the community devotees in Salt Lake City area. Caru Prabhu was one of a kind. He will be sorely missed. As others have stated, he was a Prabhupada man. Surely he is with Krishna now, or perhaps on his way to a more adventurous spreading of Krishna consciousness in the service of his beloved spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. The poetic words of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur are aptly befitting Caru Prabhu's life. An example, he reasons ill who tell that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still and sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living trying to spread the holy name around. On behalf of ISKCON North America Regional Governing Body, your servants at the North American RGBEC, Manoram Das, Saranga Thakur Das, Govinda Priya Devi Dasi. Click here for biography and appreciation. Okay. I first met Caru Prabhu around 1975 when he briefly joined our library party Sankirtan team. His intelligence and sincerity immediately impressed me, and we quickly developed a warm rapport. He was an American who had become a disciple of Srila Prabhupada while traveling in Australia. He and his wife, Vaibhavi, went on to become leaders of the fledgling Australian Yatra and had the good fortune to greet Srila Prabhupada during his early visits there. Caru Prabhu once shared two memorable stories from those days. The first time he saw Srila Prabhupada at the Sydney airport, he offered his obeisances on the terminal floor with such enthusiasm that he actually gave himself a concussion and felt dazed for the rest of the day. On another occasion, while alone with Srila Prabhupada in his room, Caru asked, Srila Prabhupada, when one begins chanting Hare Krishna, how long does it take to become purified? Srila Prabhupada paused thoughtfully and replied, about 40 years. After leaving the library party, Caru and Vaibhavi took charge of the Berkeley Temple with great success. They attracted many dedicated devotees, including Chandrasekhar Swami, Nagaraj Prabhu, Mahanidhi Swami, Haripad Prabhu, and many others. Whenever I visited, I found the temple dynamic, vibrant, and beautifully managed. Caru and Vaibhavi later moved to Los Angeles, where he served for many years as the Life Membership Director. During that time, they began envisioning new ways to spread Krishna consciousness. In those pre-internet days, they conceived of the idea of purchasing a small radio station and broadcasting Krishna conscious content. They eventually acquired KHQN, a modest country music station in Spanish Fork, Utah, a rural community near Salt Lake City. Along with the station came several acres of land on a stark but picturesque hilltop surrounded by the majestic Rocky Mountains. Caru and Vaibhavi relocated there began producing and recording enough material to sustain 24-hour broadcasting. Kirtans, lectures, dramas, and classes, many of which Charu personally created. Once the station was established, they envisioned building a temple adjacent to it. To raise funds, they baked cookies in their home kitchen and organized bake sales at Walmarts and other local venues. I remember visiting during those days and marveling at Charu's determination and entrepreneurial spirit. Their hard work yielded substantial funds, enabling the design and construction of what would become the magnificent Spanish Fork Temple. In addition to this, they started a llama business, raising sure-footed pack animals on their land and renting them to hikers. Charu, ever the creative promoter, expanded this into an animal llama fest, which attracted large local audiences and became another successful fundraising effort. Their creativity seemed boundless. They added exotic birds, koi fish, and cows to the growing menagerie, drawing visitors and gradually winning the appreciation of the local community. Members of the nearby Mormon community even contributed $25,000 towards the temple's construction. Let's see that again. When the temple opened in 1998, it became a source of pride for both the Spanish Fork community and the devotees worldwide. Designed by Bobby in the style of Kushuma Sarovara in Vrindavan, domes crowned the hilltop and were visible from the highway, drawing widespread attention. During my visits, I observed how Charu and Vaibhavi served with great devotion and love. They worked tirelessly, giving tours, caring for the deities, managing the buffet, and continually developing new outreach programs. They also opened a successful boutique to support the temple. Their energy, professionalism, and creativity were truly remarkable. With the rise of social media, Charu quickly embraced it as a powerful preaching tool. For his classes, he carefully studied accomplished speakers and incorporated their techniques into Bhagavad Gita presentation. His resulting body of lectures on contemporary spiritual topics stands as a lasting contribution for future Krishna conscious teachers. Charu also pioneered the large-scale celebration of Holi in the West. Branded as a festival of colors, it began modestly but soon gained popularity, especially among students from nearby Brigham Young University. Within a few years, attendance swelled to tens of thousands, requiring police coordination for traffic and safety. Participants joyfully threw colored powders while enjoying kirtan performed by ISKCON musicians such as Titikshava Karika and others. One attending remarked, "This is the most fun I've ever had in Utah." It became one of the largest gatherings in the state, an extraordinary achievement, born entirely from Charu and Vaibhavi's vision. The success of the Festival of Colors led to similar events across North America, which Charu organized and hosted. Yet, even with all this, they continued expanding. They acquired a former Seventh-day Adventist school near downtown Salt Lake City and developed it into another thriving center, complete with gardens and the construction of a second gorgeous temple modeled after the Spanish Fork original. I always cherished my visits with Charu. He was warm, welcoming, and deeply inspiring. We would reminisce about the library party days and discuss new strategies for spreading Krishna consciousness. On one visit, he took a copy of my book, The Wrath of God, and returned the next morning with his own Gita rap, creative, insightful, and highly engaging. He later developed it into a popular presentation for Festival of Colors audiences and many other gatherings. Charu participated in ISKCON leadership gatherings, offering practical and inspiring insights into outreach and community development. He was a Prabhupada man through and through. Together with his devoted wife, he forged a unique path in Srila Prabhupada's service, demonstrating that anything is possible with faith, determination, and creativity. They set an extraordinary example for generations to come. Today, I am heartbroken at the news of Charu Prabhu's passing. My prayers go out to Vaibhavi and to the Utah Krishna community. Surely, Lord Krishna has drawn Charu Prabhu into his loving embrace. May that same spirit of creativity and devotion with which he served continue to inspire us all. Charu Prabhu, my dear friend, I also pray that we may meet again in Srila Prabhupada's service. Your servant, Caru Dasa. So that's number one. And then here. Oh, there were some links here for something we were reading earlier. Most recent festival. You want to say something about the festival? It's not a video though. Well, we can read about it. I thought it was a video. An estimated 20,000 visitors gathered on March 28th and 29th at Shri Radha Krishna Temple near Spanish Fork, Utah, for the temple's 30th annual Holy Festival of Colors, the largest color festival in North America. When the festival first began, almost 3 decades ago, it was regarded as the unofficial spring break event for Brigham Young University students, another icon in Utah Valley, with an enrollment of over 35,000. Now festival goers are about 50% young people and 50% young families. Caru Das, one of the founders of the Spanish Fork Temple, noted several dozen llamas, peacocks, and a koi lake with a waterfall and exotic birds at the property are also big draws for families year-round. Throughout the weekend, clouds of brightly colored powder filled the air as festival goers joined in the traditional countdowns and celebrated Holi's message of unity, renewal, and spiritual joy. Families, students, and visitors of many backgrounds gathered on the temple hill to sing, dance, and participate in the celebration, which has become a beloved annual tradition in the region. Caru described the festival as an opportunity to bring people together while sharing the culture and spiritual teachings of Krishna consciousness. Along with vibrant festivals, visitors were invited to tour the temple grounds, learn about the meaning of holy in the Vaishnava tradition, and hear presentations on the themes of peace, love, and community. One news outlet, the Wasatch Journal, quoted a festival guest as saying it was collective effervescence. Collective effervescence. Among those attending the Salem Mayor Christie, among those attending was Salem Mayor Christie Simons, who thanked Caru Das for the invitation. Mayor Simons joined him in leading the noon colored throw on Saturday, describing the festival as a Salem area tradition celebrating peace, love, and community. Also attending and leading the 1 p.m. color throw was Utah County Commissioner Amelia Powers Gardner, who commented that we are all, quote, quote, better together. The festival featured hourly color throws throughout each day, accompanied by music and dancing from the main stage. There were performances by TK and Nam rock band, Malini, Taneja Bhakti Fusion, Kansha Maheshwari, and Bali Pop Utah. Vibhu Chaitanya, the DJ for Bombay, and his wife Priya Mohini, who came from Michigan, who had massive crowds and chanting Hare Krishna and dancing. Shameshwari Devi, a veteran dancer of Indra Jumna Swami's Polish tours, delighted the crowd with interactive moves. Visitors also enjoyed Indian cooking, clothing, and craft vendors, as well as opportunities to connect with the temple community. Many attendees said the event offered not only a fun and memorable experience, but also a sense of togetherness and optimism. Over 1,500 plates of prasadam were sold from the Krishna Cuisine food trailer. At the same time, 12 other vegetarian food vendors went away with smiles on their faces. The book table was busy all weekend with participants exploring spiritual literature. Devotees sold $800 worth of books, while from a third stage, Agni Devi, and a kirtan band waft the Maha Mantra through the food court and dining areas. Waft. More festivals are planned for 2026 in Utah, including Ogden and Salt Lake City. The next festival will be held in Las Vegas, Nevada, on April 25th. For more information, visit the Festival of Color website. To follow the inspiring service of Utah devotees, visit their Facebook page and website. For more pictures and videos, visit Caru Dasa's Facebook page and the local content producer, Dr. Scott Anderson, who also shared some amazing photos and videos from this event on his Facebook page and YouTube channel. For additional coverage and photographs, see the local reports from Providence Daily Herald, News, Daily Universe, and ABC4 Utah, as well as a gallery from KSL.com. We're out of time, I guess. Anyway, there's much more out there. So I'll dedicate our lives to being so enthusiastic to spread Krishna consciousness like Caru Prabhu did. I didn't know so many things about it. I only knew the festival, his temple in Utah, and the festival of colors. Very good. So, for now, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.